It is 11:30 p.m. on a Tuesday. The conditions are perfect. The house is silent. The thermostat is set to a crisp 68 degrees. Murph has performed all the necessary shut-down procedures. He has brushed his teeth, he has put on his favorite flannel pajamas, and he has flucked his pillow to the precise structural density required for optimal dreaming. Murph is ready for sleep mode. But there is a problem. Deep inside Murph's dirty orange skull, a tiny light is blinking. A fan is whirring. A process is running. Murph's brain has just sent a system-wide notification to his conscious mind. Error. Program Hang a Picture Frame is still open. Cannot initiate sleep mode. You see, Murph didn't finish the task. He started it at 4 p.m. He picked up the hammer, he looked at the wall, and then he got distracted by a very interesting moth that seemed to know a secret. The hammer is still on the floor. The nail is on the nightstand. And because the task is incomplete, Murph's brain refuses to clear the cache. Welcome to the Zeigarnik effect. To understand why Murph is currently staring at the ceiling instead of dreaming about giant marshmallows, we have to look at his brain as a web browser. Most of the time, Murph is pretty good at closing his tabs. He eats lunch, tab closed. He checks the mail, tab closed. But the human brain treats incomplete tasks very differently than finished ones. It treats them as active threats. In the 1920s, a Russian psychologist named Bluma Zeigarnik was sitting in a busy Vienna restaurant. She noticed something peculiar. The waiters could remember incredibly complex orders. Who ordered the schnitzel, who wanted the strudel, who asked for the dressing on the side, without writing anything down. Their memory was flawless. But the second the customer paid the bill, the memory vanished. If you asked a waiter 5 minutes later what that table had ordered, they drew a blank. Why? Because the payment was the Close tab button. Once the transaction was complete, the brain flushed the data to save energy. Back in bed, Murph's brain works the exact same way. That undriven nail in the hallway? To his brain, that is an unpaid bill. It is an active process. It sits in his working memory, spinning like a rainbow loading wheel, taking up valuable processing power. Murph wants to think about sheep, or clouds, or why pizza comes in a square box, but his CPU is 100% dedicated to that nail. His brain believes that if it stops thinking about the nail will cease to exist. It is flagging this data as high-priority background noise that cannot be archived until the task complete signal is received. Now you might ask, why would Murph be built with such an annoying software bug? If we look at Murph's ancestral operating system, let's call it the Caveman Edition, this was actually a brilliant productivity hack. Imagine Ancestor Murph. He starts building a spear to defend against a leopard. But halfway through, he gets distracted by a shiny berry. If his brain didn't nag him about the spear, he would forget about it, and when the leopard showed up later, Murph would be defenseless. So, evolution installed a pop-up window. It created a state of cognitive tension, a mental itch that ensures Murph doesn't forget the things that keep him alive. In the wild, forgetting an unfinished task meant death. In the modern world, it just means Murph can't enjoy his sleep because his brain is obsessed with a 2-inch piece of galvanized steel in the other room. His limbic system is essentially pinging the server every 30 seconds. Ping. Is the nail in the wall? No. Ping. Is the nail in the wall now? Still no. Ping. Are we going to die because of this? Probably not, but let's stay awake just in case. It is a feedback loop of spectacular annoyance. Because Murph is running this background task, his overall system performance is tanking. This is what psychologists call the cognitive itch. Murph is trying to read, but he has no RAM left for the plot. He reads the same sentence 4 times because his brain is busy calculating the exact trajectory of the hammer he left on the rug. This is the cliffhanger of the mind. Just like a TV show that ends on a to be continued, Murph's brain is hooked on the suspense. It craves the ending. Notice Murph's physical state. He's twitchy. He's adjusting his pillows every 3 seconds. He is experiencing psychological tension. This isn't just a mental thing, it's physical. His brain has created a state of internal pressure that can only be released by the specific click of a finished job. He is waiting for the dopamine hit of completion, and until he gets it, he is stuck in buffering purgatory. Murph has decided to force quit the problem by actually finishing the task. This is one way to handle the Zeigarnik effect, but it's 11:45 p.m. If Murph starts hammering into the drywall now, his neighbors will likely initiate their own fight-or-flight response. Fortunately, there is a software patch for this. Research from Florida State University shows that Murph doesn't actually have to finish the task to stop the Zeigarnik effect. He just needs a plan. When Murph writes down, "Tomorrow at 10 a.m., drive nail into wall," something magical happens. This is called cognitive offloading. His brain accepts the scheduled task as a temporary substitute for the active task. By writing it down, Murph is moving the data from his internal RAM to an external hard drive, the sticky note. His brain sees the plan and says, "Oh, okay. The unconscious mind has logged a specific time for completion. The threat is managed. I can close the tab now."
Watch his face. The tension is gone. The loading wheel has stopped spinning. By externalizing the task, Murph has successfully initiated the system's sleep protocol. He has tricked his ancient biology into believing the future action is as good as a present success. This is the secret to why to-do lists are so satisfying. It's not just about being organized, it's about silencing the screaming background processes in your head so you can actually hear yourself think.
The Zeigarnik effect has a dark cousin. Sometimes, when Murph finishes a task too quickly, he forgets everything he learned while doing it. If Murph spends all week studying for a test, the second the test is over, delete. The files are purged. This is why you can't remember anything from high school chemistry, Murph. Once you passed the final exam, your brain decided the checkbook was balanced and emptied the trash bin to make room for song lyrics and cat videos. But for tonight, Murph is safe. The nail is scheduled. The brain is quiet. The human brain is an incredible machine, but it's a bit of a micromanager. It hates a mess, it loathes a cliffhanger, and it will keep you awake until the end of time if it thinks you've left a program running. So if you find yourself staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m. because you didn't finish an email or you left a single sock on the stairs, don't fight the system. Don't let the loading bar spin forever. Write it down, make a plan, and tell your brain to archive for later. Because even a Murph needs to reboot once in a while. Good night, Murph. See you at 10 a.m. Don't forget the hammer.